Mm. Someone get the lube. Somebody, please. Who has lube? Because Carter and her family and her lawyer just got anal raped. Like, I mean, what was Carter's lawyer doing? He was just, it was a girl. She was just sitting there watching this rape go happen. Just watching this molestation just take place. But in all seriousness, man, whew, in all seriousness, let me get into this. I wrote a bunch of notes down, so let's dive right into the notes. First of all, let me say that this is by far the best episode of the season. um, I think this show we found out it's done with a second season, and I think it's safe to say that this show is as good as Lori makes it. As long as Lori is in the show is good. Everybody else can just takes a back seat because Lori, her being diabolic and her schemes and her behind the scenes moving chess pieces around, that is what drives this show. Because without that, it's just another high school drama. And not that high school dramas are bad. It's just that after the first season, you wouldn't think that this would be a high school drama at all. Just your typical high school drama. I mean, there's some high school aspects to it, but that wasn't the focal point. I felt like in the beginning and for most of the second season, there was a lot of high school drama and high school issues and this and that and who had sex with who and how could you do this to me when we were supposed to be dating and but we're not actually dating and oh my goodness, it was just like, what is happening? What am I watching? Degrassi or something? Like this is supposed to be about Carter's internal struggles, internal and external struggles between her and both her real family, her biological family, and her mother. Well, not really her biological family, but her real established family, and the mother that she thought was her mother but kidnapped her. And I felt like we got away from that for the most of the second season, and I don't know about you guys, but for me, most of the second season wasn't that great compared to the first season. And because of the lack of Lori, or because of the lack of internal struggles with Carter, because we don't get much, and I'll go even deeper into that part later. But but she's always two steps ahead of it. Lori is always two steps ahead of everybody, and that's what's so great. This show is as good as Lori makes it. Without Lori, it's just another show, another high school drama on MTV. I don't mind those, but this was supposed to be more than that because of the first season and what it gave us, and it started to not be, and I didn't like that, and I feel like we're getting back into that. Lori's getting out of jail finally, or a mental rehabilitation center, and she's finally getting into the fray of things and getting into the mess of things. I think she won this case. Their family got raped, and so let's just admit it, they got raped. So I think it's safe to say that everything's gonna go back to normal. She's gonna be out running loose, and we get that reveal at the end of that kid being David's son. Ooh, man, David and his wife. I always forget his wife's name. Carter's not her real mom. Technically, not her biological mother, because she donated. But man, they can't catch a break, man. My dude David can't catch a break. Her and Carter is stuck with this lady for the rest of their lives, man. David. But other than that final scene, which was great, we get Gabe, and he's struggling with his father's death. So I feel bad for the guy. You can just see that he's trying to hold back his emotions. Either he's trying to hold back his emotions, or it hasn't hit him yet. But either way, it sucks. It's just like, dang, bro, what do we say? Like, what do we do? There's nothing you can say or do in that type of situation. So you just kind of have to support him and hope for the best, because there's nothing you can say that'll make him feel better, or forgive or anything like that. So you just gotta wait it out let him grieve alone. And what he said to Carter's mom when they were talking together was so true, and it was right on the money. Because he was basically telling her, now when my dad dies is when you care about me, is when you talk about me or my family. Now you want to help me when my dad's dead, because when he was alive, they never had any character interaction, barely any, if not none, of character interaction whatsoever. They had not established any type of relationship. And I don't know if that was Lori. I mean, not Lori. And Carter's other mom. I got to get her name down. I apologize. I cannot think of it right now. But I don't know if that's her personally, not just paying much attention to Gabe and everybody else, or if that's the writer's fault of the show not establishing a relationship between the two. Either way, they actually worked out in their favor, because this was a great moment in telling, Carter's mom, like, now I don't want anything from you. We didn't have anything before. Now that my dad's dead, don't try and act like, you've cared about me this whole time, because you haven't showed it at all. And I'm interested to see where they go, and maybe they start building a relationship. And now that David, I doubt that they're going to last. This is going to cause a whole much other drama that I really don't want, but it's still kind of interesting, so I let it pass. I let it slide. But other than that, to my final point about this episode, just a couple things, and which is, I think, where the show kind of is getting stuck and lacking, is that in the first season, it was about Carter and her internal and turning into external struggles between her mom that she thought was her mom and her mom that she found out was actually her mom, and the family that she has, and the family that she had and the family that she has, and how does she balance those two if she can. And in the second season, it kind of wrote itself in a way that she doesn't even have to make that choice. Well, she kind of did make the choice in the end of the first season, but then towards the ending of the first season, for obvious reasons. But then it kind of wrote it in a way where she didn't have to make a choice anymore. The choice was kind of made for her because Lori's psycho. So, because of that, Lori is the only way that Carter has internal struggles. Without Lori, Carter doesn't have internal struggles whatsoever. So, and we know that Lori, within the context of this story, she is supposed to be behind the scenes moving chess pieces around. But because of that, which is not bad for Lori, but it's bad for Carter because of her lack of screen time, she doesn't get enough internal struggles for the viewers to see. And that's a bad thing, because of that because when you do that, the beginning, like the first 3/4 of this second season is a product of that, which is another high school drama with high school situations. I mean, Carter was sad a lot about what happened to Lori and her killing herself, and that's only sprinkles because of, she's not on screen a lot, so we only get sprinkles here and sprinkles there of what Carter's going through, but we don't really get inside her head. And because we don't really get inside her head, the audience can't connect with Carter like we did in the first season. We're not connecting with Carter in the second season. And Carter is the protagonist of this story, and she's supposed to be the one that drives this story forward. And we were kind of in limbo for 3/4 of the season. And I didn't like that, because it felt like she was stuck. So I'm hoping in the third season, which I hope there is a third season, I'm pretty sure the ratings are pretty good. I'm hoping in this third season we kind of turn the boat around and get back into Carter's mind, because we like and high school dramas are okay. It's okay to have that once in a while. I get it. You need the drama, but inside Carter's mind is what we all really care about. Is how we connect with her, because I think first season she was brilliant, except for towards the end. But I'll do a full overview of the season. I'll give you my full thoughts on Carter, the character, overall, in another video. But as for this season, and as for the finale, great finale, best episode by far. About time we got into Carter's head. And when we're into Carter's head, this is a great show. When we're in Carter's head, when we're not, the show is okay. When we're not. But those are all my points. Those are all my notes that I wrote down. But I enjoyed this episode. It was great. And that ending, man. The dude can't catch a break. And remember, somebody give Carter's family some lube. Seriously. Because they need it right now. They need some help. But I'll see you guys later. Peace.